Welcome, everybody, to the Tipped and Stiff podcast with your host, Kate Alvarez and
Jared Sturridge.
We would like to... What am I supposed to say?
We would like to give a warm welcome to our lovely guests.
Sun Silo.
Yay.
Yes, made up of the members...
Andy, Warren, Jepson.
My name is Kimberly, Hetelle.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We're very, very happy to be here. Thank you.
We're happy to get you.
Yeah. We appreciate it.
Yeah, because the first time we saw you play live, we saw you play live at Kenosha's craft brewery, and I'm always skeptical of every band I see.
As am I.
Yeah.
For, you
Naturally.
know, especially local acts.
Right.
Because, you know, there's a lot of garbage out there. Some people are trying their best.
Right. It's
and I
early
respect
days,
and love it.
You're learning.
Yeah.
You're figuring it out. Yeah.
And when I say garbage, it's more like there's some people who refuse to admit that they're learning.
Right.
Those are, and I've met a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk to them, they're like, "I'm the greatest band ever."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Confidence is good.
yeah. There's a slim line between dedication and delusion.
Right.
Slim line. But when we saw you, it was a blast.
Mhm.
I was like,
Well,
I
good.
remember like the first song. I remember the first song playing. I just like heard the chord. I was like, "Ooh, this is
One chord.
That's
special."
good. Yeah.
And it helps that chord was played on a Nord Stage 3. Is that what it
It's my actual child.
It's? Oh my God.
I would
the amount of
hope-
times.
yeah.
The amount of times that we would go to... it was like Music Center or Music Go Around, and just like Kate, we would walk over and Kate would be like, "Jared, imagine having this on stage."
It's like a supercomputer.
It is.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
a
literally a
spaceship.
computer. It's the nicest thing I own for sure.
That's so cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
So I just bought a for our computer to do like
Yeah.
editing for my computer to do editing and stuff. It was kind of expensive. I needed like a graphics card, and this just
Yes.
ties into everything. I needed like a graphics card for doing stuff, and graphics cards low in stock right now. They're really high
Sure.
over MSRP right now, and it was like $650. I was like, ugh. And but like
That's
right
sharp.
right underneath the number, it was like 12 simple payments of $52, and I was like,
well, when you put it that
I was
way.
like, yeah, and they got me. Amazon got me. And you know what's worse is
They got us all.
After they got me, they approved me for so much. Like, they approved me for so much money.
After your credit information was in, and like,
they
got
went to
you.
town. And I was like, the first thing I did, and I felt ashamed of myself. I did look up what the monthly price would be for a Nord Stage 3. I was like, what if we did it? Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Mine's
Beautiful
mine's a
instrument.
tiny bit different. A
Yeah.
little bit.
She's got the analog faders for the organ section. So this is digital.
Okay.
You can all these LEDs. You can kind of control that way. She has sliders.
Yep.
That one,
Yeah, that's about it.
That's it. And you really gravitated to that, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm a very like textures and
having it
Yeah.
physically in front of you. I mean, the Nord in general, I think any one of them, that was one of the standout features of it, is you have all these wonderful knobs and buttons
Yeah.
Right.
to experiment with, where a lot of models and by different makers, which are comparable, lot of digital interface.
Mhm.
it was
lot
definitely
of
like a learning curve for me.
screen.
I remember when I first got it, I was just like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
Synths are daunting.
Of
they're-
course. And that's just the beginning. I mean, modular synthesizers
Right.
and
But one thing that was cool when, like, I think with listening to the music and seeing you perform with the tones that you choose, and even with like just commenting on the Nord Stage, like it is a very warm presence.
To have that
very-
keyboard synth, like
the guitar, like just all of you are very talented. Everyone in
Thank
the
you.
band is very
Thank you.
talented.
That means a lot.
And you had was it your bass player that was new at the time?
Yeah,
It was his first show with us.
It was his first show. I think he had been playing with us in total for maybe 2 months.
Yeah.
tops.
Not a long
His
time,
name's Taylor
yeah.
Campbell.
He did very good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
he did very good.
Fantastic
incredibly
musician.
talented.
Yes.
He has his own music. That's how we met him. Actually, the way we met him was through our current drummer, Landon Deaton, and they played in a free jazz group, and Taylor had a studio space that he would work out of, and they would do different projects, and Landon knew us and knew that we were looking to record, so he said, Taylor, you know, would you be interested in doing this? And he was, and then we made the whole first EP and the whole
First album.
Paper Cuts, with him behind the boards, like engineering it.
We like
Right.
tracked it, and he
Yeah.
Very cool.
And that was a really great experience, and you know, as life would have it, he ended up being in the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All your
Very
stuff sounds
talented.
produced very well. I really
Thank
like
you.
everything. It's like, and we like Jared.
Yeah.
You probably listened to more than I have.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
what I have listened to, and I mean, I've seen what I saw live. I was like, it's very good.
Thank
But
you.
Bravo
Yeah.
kudos to you guys.
We
But
appreciate
We were talking right before you guys got here about, what was it, sync
you should do
licensing?
sync licensing. 'Cause
Yes.
your stuff is so. It's catching, and it's very thematic at times, and like
Yeah.
when I make music, I get very much like visually with music. I'm
Yes.
very visual with music, and like when I hear like a
Me
certain
too.
very like things are going at like at just a certain BPM,
Mhm.
like it's just hitting that right there. I think of like movie scenes
Yes.
immediately.
I think that really
100%.
drives Andy's like songwriting,
Yes.
because Sun Silo is like he wrote the songs, you know, they're all came from his brain, and he's somebody also who sees it's called art rock for a reason, you know, like your art, the art that you make is really integrated with it,
Sure.
and you have like a visual in mind while we're doing this, you know.
100%.
It's
I think I'm equally influenced by films as much as I am music too.
That's-
Mhm.
That's a bond that
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
with you and Landon and Taylor too. We all really have a nice little language within us where we talk about movies and go moods that are connected to movies.
Me and
And
Kate
they-
are the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my
Same way.
God, yes.
Isn't that
Yeah.
the best?
Yes. Yes.
There's a whole language there, and there's things that you can touch on with different mediums, you know, and film is like the perfect combination of all of them.
Right.
There's like aesthetics that I think play into the similarities between music and movies. And one really good example is the group that he and I have been starting over the last year. Like one movie and a particular scene in a movie that influenced kind of whatever aesthetic and feeling we wanted to go for was the scene in the movie Platoon.
Okay.
You ever seen that?
I have
he-
not.
There's just a horrible scene.
Oh,
my
man,
goodness.
You got all right. Hold on. We can bring
Yes.
up the picture. You gotta look up.
It's Captain Barnes.
Yes,
A last battle scene Platoon.
and it's kind of like it's very dark. It's like his eyes
Good.
are kind of like
Yeah.
glowing. So
Yeah.
what's great about this movie is that who was it? We were just talking about
Charlie
this-
Sheen.
No, the producer.
Oh, Oliver Stone.
Oliver Stone.
Director.
So Oliver Stone made 3 Vietnam movies. Okay, yeah. Scroll down a little bit.
no.
I wonder if we're gonna be able to find this.
It's gonna be. Look up like Platoon movie.
What year did this come out?
Like 1970.
Oh,
no.
excellent.
Probably like 80 something.
Okay.
Look at Platoon movie, Fire in the Eyes.
That's a great
Fire Eyes.
movie poster right there.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's.
Oh man, we're not gonna find it now. Of course.
well,
Yeah,
my
thank
interest
you.
is piqued.
It
Yeah.
is-
Yeah,
It
it's
is
nuts.
Oh, there's a thing in the thing.
The thing in the.
Uh,
Oh, okay.
I know that call.
there we go. So, like, what's crazy about Platoon? So, Oliver Stone
Yeah.
made 3 Vietnam movies, but Platoon specifically is about Charlie Sheen's in it, and it's about him going to Vietnam, and he purposely signs up. And he is kind of from a more privileged family. They never really show it, but he's just kind of telling the other Marines that he joined up, and he joined on purpose. And they're kind of they look down on him because they're like, "Why would you want to be here? You were in college. You're kind of a moron for doing this." And he's really young, and he's like going through the horrors of war. And watching, what's interesting is that 2 figures come out as kind of the angel and the devil on
His
like
shoulder.
shoulders kind of thing, and he has like in a strange way like two father figures through this war journey that he goes through, while he's also, you know, making these interesting relationships with these what he calls grunts, and he's not insulting them, he's calling them what he believes that the society looks as them at. And through it, like the movie, the ending, the final, like, you know, real the climax of the movie is kind of
without
where
giving too much away.
all these worlds collide.
That's
and
right. It's been out since the 80s, you know.
Yeah,
right.
Spoilers are.
It's your guys' fault.
Yeah, right. If you missed it,
It's
you
on
missed
us at
it.
this point.
But this giant climax happens,
Yeah.
but there's one scene where the final kind of battle happens, and it's with, you know, one of the more prominent figures in it. But as the figure is going to strike Charlie Sheen, he has mud and blood all over his face. They've been fighting for hours now. They're
Mhm.
tired,
And their hope is lost.
their
in this
hope is
moment.
lost. They're like,
Yeah.
we're losing this. And like as he gets up to like strike him, the camera like zooms in on his face, and a thing of napalm like comes down behind him, and all you just see is fire, and it's going to the character, and his eyes are lit red, and it's amazing. And
Yeah.
like it's so like the point of the movie, but
It's all for that
The pe-
shot.
the
right,
peak,
it's
you know?
yeah,
just
that's the
for,
one.
yes, it's
Yeah.
just for that shot. And what's crazy is that before that scene begins, the climax ends, one of the characters he was like, all right, boys, like, be careful. He's like, the devil's out there tonight. And it's just
Yeah.
like, you just like get this like fear that something horrible.
It's a
is
chilling movie.
So
Yeah,
good. But that's
very cool.
If
You can find it on YouTube, Bryce.
I know, I'm looking for
If
War
we-
movies
yeah.
always get me.
Cool.
Just war movies in general. I'm like,
Yeah.
What movies are you? What movies are you all into?
Do you want me to go first?
well, the most recent movie I watched was Atlantis, 2001.
Oh, the animated one? Yeah, that was good. The original Avatar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
one they
yeah.
stole it all from. Like,
You're absolutely right. Oh, so good. So that's where I'm at right now. Andy?
Right on. One we've bonded over together, Fantastic Planet.
Yeah.
Oh,
When we talk
French-
about the merit, yep,
Yes.
animated 70s.
I don't think I blinked once the first time I watched that movie.
It's fantastic.
I turned on like five. I turned on like 5 minutes of it, and it wasn't
you
that I
should go.
wasn't
You should go through it, yeah.
I was just like, it got me at like a specific time
Mhm.
when I pressed play on it. I was like, now is not the time.
Right.
for
I,
this.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
completely get that.
There's, I mean,
yeah.
so there's like I feel like a lot of movies that are foreign films, I would prefer to watch in the original language and then read subtitles.
Right.
But I feel like
Definitely.
for that one, I would recommend the
The dub,
English version.
right?
Yeah.
Dubbed,
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Yeah, because
Yes.
Because it's so animated, like it doesn't even really like, I don't know.
Connect the same
I don't-
way
maybe
that
that's
a
just
live
me. I
action
don't
would.
know.
I agree.
Because I know, like with
Um,
like anime, a lot of people prefer to watch like
the
yeah,
original.
yeah. So maybe it might like be like that for you. I'm just saying, I've seen it both ways, and I prefer English.
Well, unfortunately,
agree.
a lot of the, like if say you're watching a series on Netflix, animated series, and people found this out with Squid Game, that
Yes.
Netflix is insanely lazy at getting even the proper translation for
Oh.
most anime, even for
Interesting.
Yeah.
subtitles.
Yeah.
I can
And
see that.
It's, I mean, if you're on like say Crunchyroll or some,
Mhm.
They do
Where it's a
look
little.
way
They're
better.
probably
Yeah.
more thorough.
their whole point is to have that.
Well, they're
gonna
into
be-
it.
yeah, that's the
Netflix isn't quite into it. They're into the market.
right.
The money. Have you ever seen Battle Royale? Like this is kind of to the
Yeah.
like that. The Battle
That was
Royale.
that movie we were talking about with Landon, with the kids on the island.
Yes.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's the kind of when you watch Battle Royale, you're like, this is what Hunger Games
Was trying to
trying
Yeah,
to do.
yeah.
But Battle Royale, the original version is so much better than the English dub version. It's like an
Sure.
embarrassing difference.
Okay, yeah.
It was so poorly done.
The voice acting was
voice
so,
acting
it
was
was
so-
cringy.
Yeah, because like looking back, I felt like it was like a farce. Like
Yeah, it's
Right.
yeah. But I remember when I watched it in the regular version, I'm like, this movie's awesome.
yeah.
And like watching comparing to the English version, I'm like, this-
Something was lost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
I get
terribly
that.
lost.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's too bad. That one note on that film, Fantastic Planet. I think that's a good example of a terrific marriage between soundtrack and film. I mean, that
Yeah.
soundtrack in and of itself, I've listened to
Talking about
for
like
inspiration on mixing
art and
and
music and how they
yeah,
do this.
that's a great example.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I want to say.
It's interesting when movies, a foreign film that really doesn't have a lot of music in it, barely any,
Sure.
throughout the entire movie, is Come and See.
Yeah.
Come and See. I don't.
Yeah.
You ever seen that?
I think. Oh man.
That's a dusty.
It's about the
Belarusian genocide during World War II.
By the German Nazi.
That's
Landon needs to be here.
yeah. We were just talking about that one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, I have seen
This is almost a
yes, It was
worse-
beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
here's
you
the
watched
thing.
this and I went to bed because
Yeah,
I
did watch this.
Yeah, it's not
kind of
before
bad.
bed.
I'm kind of bad with titles.
Right.
Yeah.
I have seen this.
Horrifying. I mean,
gorgeous,
it's great.
though. Yeah.
But it's beautiful, but
I have kind of a. There's something wrong with me, but I thought I loved that.
no, it's an amazing film.
No,
yeah.
it's an amazing film.
The
It's-
scene where they're in the forest, him and the
Yes.
female character,
Yeah.
and it's raining,
Yes.
and their sound is compromised. Incredible. It's chilling and it's very sensual in that it connects your senses and the way that filmmaker made that, absolutely terrific. It is sad. It is
What
heavy.
do you mean? What?
You know,
It makes you angry. Like it's one of
Yes.
it's one of these movies that I genuinely was angry at humanity. Movies
Yeah.
don't usually do that. I'm
Right.
like, there's an ounce of empathy that I can have for one villain or another, but this one I was like, I don't know if that's
A hint
rightly
of Roth.
placed.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right. This.
Yeah.
This and The Pianist are like
That I've
two
never seen.
World War II movies that like you watch them and you just feel like, what is?
You just feel like
society?
crap the
What
whole
is
time.
humanity?
What are we?
that one's legendary for that, for
That
sure.
one's-
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
here.
God.
Is this it? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Can't really
Okay.
see it. It's really poor quality, but
Oh.
Okay, it'll show. Yeah,
It's
keep it going here.
right.
That's
where it's
supposed
to be. You
It's
can't
supposed
see
to be
it.
right
Damn.
there. Dang it. We used to have a really good picture of it on the
Yeah.
drive, but
Well, sorry.
It-
I'll show you guys.
Alright.
I have the picture of it on my phone. I'll show you after the.
So
otherwise, I don't know. That's cool. That's cool about the movie, the visual movie thing. 'Cause
Yeah,
that was like
yeah.
our two favorite things. Like Jared,
Mhm.
you should you should tell him like before Jared joined, we had a band.
Oh yeah, before
Yeah.
the band that was our music project before our current one,
Mhm.
I joined when they were like they were putting out a first project.
No, we had already put out the first album
Yeah, I mean I was like part of like
when you
the
joined.
process. Yeah, you guys were putting that. Yeah, to be technical, but yeah. Then from then, during that time when I joined, and then right just before it, the year preceding, I worked with my old high school theater department and did soundtracks for 4 or 5 of their plays. And
Very
that
cool.
was like, you guys ever read the play or seen it, All My Sons
no.
by Arthur Miller? Dude, it is a World War II drama.
It's all about World War II.
It's all about World War II. It's just like a family that like is
kidding.
built on a family that has a plane company, and they make a manufacturing error, and 21 pilots die. That's where the band 21 Pilots has their name, by the
Get
way.
out of town.
Oh.
Yeah, isn't that wacky?
Huh.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I made the yeah.
It is wacky.
It's a little
That's wacky.
interesting. But writing soundtracks for plays, and specifically that play, was the beginning of how I make those kinds of good connections
Sure.
too. But in this case, I was writing it mostly based off of the script and how I was interpreting it. And
Yeah.
we can be a little bit explicit on this show. I would get so baked and just like I was 18 years old, just getting insanely chopped at my house, and like reading every line so slow, and then circling lines and writing them in my notebook for the soundtrack. Like this for this scene, like this line. Remember this line
Right.
for this chord.
There's
And-
something there.
There's
There's
something
something
good
there.
process for that.
It's
Yeah.
you got to go crazy to have like that process sometimes, and I felt like I genuinely went crazy. And I imagine most sound designers have to be a little like have like synesthesia in a sense.
100%.
Yeah.
Did you have to do it from scratch? Everything was of your own.
Like analog, like from like like recording a piano, or like build
Yeah.
every song from
All
like-
the soundtracks you created.
yeah, like
Wow,
I
very
wrote,
cool.
recorded, produced,
That's
mixed,
awesome.
mixed. I
Right.
was 18 to know how to
Yeah,
mix,
you're
but
learning. And,
yeah,
yeah.
it was really
Pan,
fun.
pan left and right and turn things
Oh, yeah.
up and down.
Yeah.
Reverb
The
on
mix.
the mix, reverb on the
Right.
master.
Reverb on the master.
But yeah, soundtracks and music with visuals, like, I mean, with or without it, there's the opportunity for the realization that sound and visuals are always intertwined. Like they're a good match, and a good movie that I think makes an example out of like having no music and still making you think about the lack of music is No Country for Old Men. There's
That's
not an ounce
film.
of music in that movie.
And that almost contributes to the tension.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Almost.
So to bring it to y'all, new projects, new stuff.
So speaking of,
we got
like,
a lot on the horizon here.
Like visuals with audio, like the music video that we just released like a month ago.
Yeah, there are 2 music videos that we're planning for this release of Trillium, which is our second full-length studio album. The first one's already out. That's for Rung, and I made that one by finding old archival footage, and hell yeah. And my goal was to take these pieces and juxtapose them to create its own narrative or its own theme.
Right.
And I was using repetition to kind of create loops, and this is it. And like this footage there, this mysterious red clad woman, this is all family footage that was archived in the Prelinger archives, which is public domain, and it's just old rolls of family trip. And I went through all of it and found all these distinct moments that I thought were interesting.
That's weird. Yeah. So when I watched
this,
yeah.
And what I like about it, you never see her face, but I wanted it to be like in his dream. So that's from a different thing. So I'm trying to imply that he's dreaming these things, and
dead things.
Andy
loves dead things.
I do. I do.
I really liked the video. I really liked the song too. When I watched it, I was like, this is really trippy. I really thought the way that it was cut together and like that.
Yeah.
Why? What series of events led to that moment?
Right. So there's a few different.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like that, the boy holding the rabbit by the ears. Oh, I'm sorry.
Knock down everybody.
Was from a 20-minute piece of footage that was made during World War II.
It's all about World War II.
Yeah, that's really a theme, huh?
Yeah.
And it was made for families in England who had to send their children off to the country to avoid the bombings in major metropolitan areas.
Oh, wacky. What?
And what they were trying to do was create this footage of children living on farms being happy, and it can be wonderful. You can, the kids are learning how to take care of animals, and they're learning how I know, kind of funny. And it can be a good life for them. They're trying to comfort the parents who have to part with their children to keep them safe. And it's a really weird thing to watch. But I found these really odd moments where this kid's just holding this rabbit by its ears, or they're clipping the wings on a bird, which actually was for humane purposes. It was to groom it, I guess. But that's in the film too.
That's cool.
Kids sawing things and building things. And I saw these parallels where these kids were sculpting things out of mud, which is something I do. And I thought, okay, that fits. So I would like this.
Right.
The mouse. But that connected with a different thing. That's the other beautiful thing about this project was I was finding these parallels, and these dots were connecting that I couldn't have predicted. And
like the live mouse and the dead mouse.
Right. I didn't deliberately search out live footage of a mouse and dead footage of a mouse. It just happened, and it fell into my lap. And that actually has happened more than once, doing a style of creating film like this. I did one for my solo album that came out a year ago, and the video is called Vilkeman. And that one is the same concept, but I played with play rate, and I made it much slower, but it married to the music really well. And there was these timing things that happened, and I couldn't have predicted it, and it just happened the way it did.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's one of them. And then the other is yet to come, and that's for a single called Knox. and our drummer Landon is going to do stop motion animation, and we're doing 3-dimensional stop motion animation.
Nice.
And
sweet.
he's very interested in that, and he's worked really, really hard at getting articulate and,
That's something
better.
he's been dabbling in, like, on his own time, like before the correlation with like Sunstyle. Like, he's taking skills that he's learned throughout the years to do
this project.
Video. Yeah. But he's done stuff with stop motion animation already, and it looks really cool.
And he was excited at the opportunity, and we're building a set together, which kind of incorporates my artwork, and then he'll animate within it. And again, that'll come out within.
Andy's been working tirelessly in the shed. I'll like walk back out there, and he's just like has this tiny little thing with this Dremel tool. I'll be like, "What are you doing?" And he's like covered in sawdust and dirt, and be like, "I'm making tiny books." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll see you inside. Have fun."
That's cool. It's very the feeling that you get when it's like people are like, I'm in the zone, but there's a step after that. Like there's like the like you're making little books inside of a shed, like, you know what I mean? Like there's
painting them. They look really good.
Thank you.
It's like at least like I find myself right now. I'm very like compared, like talking about there's a lot of work to do with these projects.
Oh,
you know, there's tons. People don't.
Even things like making tiny books, like you would never be like, "Oh, I need to set aside time today to like make a small set." Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like all those little tiny things that all takes time.
No one understands. A lot of people don't. A lot of them can't fathom how much effort really takes to make quality art and entertainment.
Right.
Like it's even crazy because a lot of people are like, they'll see something online and they go, "That's bad art."
Yeah,
that's bad entertainment.
I
and you're
have a lot of feelings on this subject. I like that we're touching on this.
Yeah, like even the bad art and stuff. My biggest thing, like with that, is like if you were to break down the hours that were spent to make a culmination of that, it's a lot of hours still. My biggest thing is always attitude. Like that's when I meet artists and I talk to them about. Like, they're like, I'm doing this, I'm working really hard. It's always like my most important thing to connecting with them is attitude and direction. And I find myself, because sometimes like confidence is good. I hate overconfidence.
There's a fine line.
There's a fine, like there's, we've had, like I've talked to artists before. Their careers are, like they're 2-3 steps away from
really blossoming.
Being the thing.
Yeah.
And you talk to them sometimes, and it's just like, oof. And it's not to insult them. It's just there's a energy, and sometimes you can like almost watch who might do it and who won't, even if they have the success that they're having right now. You know what I mean? Like it's like they're working hard, but their attitude is strange. Like their attitude is
maybe their intention.
is
their different.
Intentions are
that's a key one. Is where what's driving you,
right?
Yes.
And what are you trying to accomplish? And longevity. I think you're kind of touching on that. I mean, are these people who are I don't know. I think artistic people who are driven by that mysterious, I have to do this drive.
Right.
They can't not. It's not an option, and you're never going to not do it, whether you're successful or not.
Right.
You have to do it. It's part of your organism. And the food and the worth of it is the act of doing. And you can smell that, and you can see it. And then you can see when there's some other motivation.
Right. My earlier comment when I was like, I see some local bands and they're just hot garbage. I know it's like kind of it's a mean thing to say, but usually what I mean by that is that I don't like people who come up to the plate and don't try the swing. I hate that.
That's interesting.
I despise that. I despise, like when I saw y'all play, I was like, you were like, it was a good show. It was even a better show because you came to play. You know what I
Thank
mean? Like
you.
you came. You
I'm
know what I
glad
mean?
to
You know what
play
I'm saying?
that.
Like you came to play the show well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like you can hear it.
Yeah.
Some people come to play the dick around.
Yeah.
I won't fucking waste my time. Go home. I don't want to hear it.
I
Like,
think that's honestly a part of our the way that we operate. Like I mentioned, we play very few shows up until now.
Yes.
So it's been like calculated. Like
That's
been
by
on
choice.
purpose. So we've been recording. We've been rehearsing. We went through the member change. We just it's
We didn't want to oversaturate the market or the community. We didn't want to just constantly be, if we weren't confident and ready to, like you said, take a
Right.
swing. And also the state of the world's been a huge factor, but
well, yes.
yes.
There's been a few problems.
Yeah.
There's been a few.
But one
a few
thing I
hiccups
really-
here and there.
I want to like loop back to, I love that you brought up is like I think of a lot of the issues we kind of just touched on are connected with the culture of the Midwest. And
There we go. Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
it's, I think you mentioned how we don't know all the time and effort that goes into somebody making something. We don't think of that before we make a snap judgment. I think there's this culture which we're raised on with things like The Voice and American Idol and these reality TV competitions where people get to sit in their armchair and watch somebody do something and go, I don't like it.
Right.
That's
Boom. Yeah.
boop, flick.
Yeah.
And there's so many instances where we have this choice to instantly decide it, whether we can be the judges, but you're not thinking of everything that's behind it, the intention behind it. And in this area, I feel that there's a lot of emphasis on wealth and how much money are you making doing something, and that's what validates an action, not the spirit behind it.
Yes, it's never the spirit. It's your worth is a dollar amount,
Yeah.
and your time needs to be
And that's
equal to
just
that.
absolutely crippling to an artist. I mean, that is hard. And
Right.
I struggle with that every day. I just finding my footing in that. And I know I'm not alone. I'm sure there's many people who struggle with
even
that
hearing
too.
that there's people who notice a difference.
Yeah, I mean, there is a hope there.
Yeah.
And even talking about it with people like
Yeah.
we are right now, that's a beautiful thing.
Well, I remember it's interesting because speaking about the Midwest, especially with Wisconsin doesn't value a lot of art.
I agree.
We pretend to, but we really don't.
Right.
I think a lot of time we were just talking about
Literally
this
last night.
podcast.
Really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's kind of spooky.
Yeah.
We were
It's in
like
there.
Wisconsin's like, well, we have Summerfest. It's like, who gives a shit?
That doesn't
Like,
count.
So
you know.
I
That ain't it.
compared it. I was like, Summerfest, Summerfest is to Lollapalooza as like McDonald's is to like, I don't know, some like nice restaurant. Like everyone's got one, but not everyone's got like a 3-4
a
star.
Michelin star restaurant. Like,
Yeah.
like
Oh, you mean like Culver's?
right.
We'd like to thank everybody for listening.
no, but
No, we're
it's-
complimenting Culver's, right?
yes,
We love
Oh.
Culver's.
Oh, till the day I die.
Yeah.
So,
all right,
yeah.
If anything, this episode we have a Nord Stage 3 sponsorship and a Culver sponsorship.
Had to
Let's
sub
do it.
Culver's.
It's the dream.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
I was I remember having this conversation. So before we got
Yeah.
this spot, we were having a conversation with the creative space people.
Yeah.
I remember sitting down with him, and he told us, because they rely on a lot of money from the state to do certain bigger projects, and he was like, do you know how much money, how many cents per dollar? Because that's how we break up a spending bill, is percentage per dollar, is spent on culture investment in Wisconsin. I was like, how much? And he was like, 2.5 cents per dollar. I was like, wow. And he's like, do you know how much Minnesota spends on it? And I was like, what? He's like 15 cents. And he's like, he's like, Minnesota invests is one of the highest investors of states, like setting up places for people to enjoy free entertainment.
Yeah.
It's because Minnesota had Prince.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Wisconsin hasn't produced a lot. Like Violent Femmes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Bon
Bon
Iver.
Iver.
Bon Iver.
Bon Iver.
Yeah.
But we have a culture of music that is inherently isolationist feeling.
Yes.
Like we have a lot of grunge, dark garage, punk.
We're more of
Midwest
like a
emo.
serial killer state, not so much as like.
Yeah.
People know us for Dahmer more than.
Well,
That's
true.
an interesting percentage, though. I had not.
Yeah,
heard that.
I'm glad you shared that.
That makes
That's
sense,
good to
though.
hear.
I feel like there's
I
an
didn't know.
emphasis on like not that type of work. Like it's accepted to do this as like, oh, you play piano, that's cute. Oh,
Yeah.
keep it up. Like, oh, that's so good for you.
Oh, maybe you can be in
know?
a cover band and make money playing at weddings. You know, like there's not.
Don't knock it.
True. I do not mean any disrespect to that.
Just saying.
But again, it ties with this whole.
Right. Like if you
money-
to be successful as a musician in Wisconsin, you kind of have to go that
Right.
route.
Right.
To this
Currently,
point, it kind
I
of
don't
seems.
know.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like there's a big emphasis on like that's an accepted career choice.
Yes, and
Mhm.
like you mentioned, the isolationist style of music, it spills over into the way that music scenes work in this area, and people
Mhm.
communicate with each other. I think there's an edge of like,
Yeah.
I'm fighting for what little I can get.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you know.
How
and-
do you
yeah.
feel about it? Because are you guys based in Kenosha?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
right. I figured that's what I thought. And
Yeah.
I've been around.
As have I.
I've bounced to through
Different
groups,
Some straight killers out here.
organizations who are. Yeah, I mean the documented murders on, like it's people who, felony charges. Some of these people, you know who you are. Sorry, but it's they don't listen to this show.
No.
The culture behind art should not just stem from like a survival of the fittest mindset.
Mm-mm.
That can be like that's exhilarating, but also it's bad for kids. And when we want to encourage children to be involved in the local art scene, we don't want it to be
A competition.
strictly like a narcissistic competition.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of what you're talking about, like American Idol and stuff like that.
Right,
That's what
it
that
makes me cringe and makes me feel so. Oof.
Well, I mean,
is-
yeah.
Music as a form of sport.
Yes,
Mhm.
Not
it's
good.
like a oxymoron or something. Like it's.
well, in the land of the Packers and the Badgers, it's all about sports.
Even like WSMA solo and ensemble. You're playing
You're
for
being
a
judged.
You're being judged and you're playing for a score.
Mhm.
It's weird. Like that made me a great piano player, but like did it make me a great musician?
You know,
Yeah.
that's an interesting, because I've done, WSMA, and I've done like recitals. And I remember the first time I did like a recital just to like do a recital, just to like play. I remember being like, because I was, I don't know, conditioned to go for the you learn the solo for WSMA to get that score. And then like to have a recital, like, oh, we're just going to show off what we learned. I was like, wait, but then
How do we grade it?
what do I get the 1 star? Like
Right.
what,
Right.
And
Mm.
I guess I'm just now kind of realizing that that's how I felt the first time I played a recital without having it be like a competition and it being like, oh, this is kind of cool, and like trying to digest that. That was a unique experience for me.
Yeah,
I never
formative.
realized it. Yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't do any of that.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't.
I'm so glad. I picked
I
the
was a
guitar when I was
band kid.
16. Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Doing
Oh.
juries in college was the worst, though. That was
Yeah.
oh,
Kimberly,
my hair. Oh
what-
gosh. Oh, just what?
It's all good.
I picked up
Got a lot of hair.
the guitar when I was 16. No, I got a guitar when I was 15 for Christmas.
Yes.
And then I joined a band when I was 16 playing the bass. And then I fell in love just doing that.
Yeah.
Like being really like, come to band practice 4 times a week. I was like, okay. And I really liked that. And then that just like kind of progressed. But I never, like, I remember like making music and making songs. And then when we started recording them and putting out there, I heard people be like, did you ever do like band? I was like, no. And they're like, interesting. I'm like, how? Why is it interesting?
I feel like I asked you that. I'm like, so were you in choir? You're like, no. Like, do you do band? You're like, jazz band. I'm like, like, like that. I guess it is. So I'm guilty
Yeah.
of that. Sorry.
No, I just never
I am too.
I never wanted to get into like and it felt good almost in a way because my experience with music was just like 4 of your friends in a room and they're just like, let's just do the thing. And then you do it.
Yeah.
They're like me learning, like getting better at bass was like, okay, we're going to play at the talent show. They're like, Cade, we know you've only been playing the bass for a month. but we really need you to learn like Breathe by Pink Floyd. I was like, I got it. And I didn't realize that whole song is improvised by Roger Waters. So I painstakingly went through each bar and learned every different change.
That's
and
a crash course.
You probably came out the other end like,
I was like, it didn't click till I like remember telling my guitarist, I was like, yeah, there's a lot of changes. And this was until like after we finished. I was like, it was so hard to learn that. And he was like, you do realize you don't have to do it that way. And I was like, oh, and because I didn't know music theory. I was just trying to learn like the
note for note.
And then it made me a lot better because like learning so many different and just drilling into your brain. But that's when it's strange because the stuff like we like with the freedom of being away from it. Like now I feel after, we were affected by, the ways of the world, and we had a band and, we were finally starting to like do the fucking thing. Of course, everything's perfectly timed.
Right.
Remember, we had just booked. We were gonna play at Trim Fest, and they were gonna have us play the side stage, and then we sold like 150 tickets, and they were like, "You're gonna play on the main stage."
Nice.
Like they were like, and it felt good because we were just a small band. It was a lot of like, it was just like we were younger, so it was a lot of our friends, but like friends of family and
neighbors,
like,
and
that's what it is. Yeah,
and that felt good, and then it got canceled, and then because it happened, and then our drummer dropped, our guitarist dropped, and then it was Jared and I and the bass player who was also my girlfriend, and then we broke up, so she didn't play in the band anymore.
It'd be like that sometimes.
You know what? Thank you for saying it because no one has said it in a long time.
It'd be like that sometimes.
So it hurts, but
now we're like it felt good. Like we make like completely different music.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then from an artist thing, from like the pressures of like the Midwest, like trying to tie this all in a sweet bow, it felt good to start from a place of non-competition to now entering a place of competition, because I feel like I can see who is what very quickly, and I know who I need to like, and maybe this sounds
gravitate
really
towards.
not even gravitate, yes, but also who's a little sneaky. Like there's some people who are out here who say things and they don't really mean them. And it's a few. Like this is we have such a small scene, but there's straight killers out here. Like it is stupid. And when we go to like Milwaukee and meet them, and it's like, you guys are awesome. They're playing shows, and you meet some people, and you're like, what are you up to? Like you have you're just as big as everyone else here. Why do I feel like you're Jeffrey Dahmer? Why do I feel like I'm about to end up in a fridge?
why are there too many Charlie Mansons running around Kenosha right now?
Right.
Wannabe.
I don't know.
But I don't know.
It is. You'd be like, it sounds crazy, but it's just like I think there's a certain insanity with a lot of artists. Like just what I've met, they just you get them in a room.
You got to watch them.
And you're like,
artists.
what do you think about the world? And they're like,
out.
well, I think I'm God and I'm going to take it all over. I'm like, well, someone needs to put a cap on you.
It does connect, I think, to the scarcity of
Yes,
opportunity.
I was just going to say that.
I that would make sense to me.
Yeah.
It's a real knife fight out here.
Right. We're
God.
But I don't want to
live
that way.
Like that's why the people I was associated with, I moved away very fast from them because it's not like I knew there was others. I met another maniac, but there's different. You got to pick and choose your maniacs.
Cool crazy.
Right. There is cool crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to trade them in. Check one out. It's like medication. You don't know which one's going to work the first time.
I'm just trying to see how many I can get under my belt. Like you're the third right now.
Right. I'm on number 3. No, but it's.
I watch your back, kid.
Yeah, it's been. It's like having you like guys on, like when we started the podcast, we've been able to meet a lot more artists, like having you two in a more intimate space like this where we get to talk to each other, and it's interesting hearing other people's ideas on what is happening
and what
with
we're
the arts.
experiencing.
Yes,
in a way together.
Yes.
But from totally different perspectives.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing about what you do, is you share those perspectives.
You
and
keep it
those-
down. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the other
Yeah.
Manson. No.
Ooh. This building's a little too old for jokes like that.
Right.
Yeah.
What are we at
It's
for
100.
time?
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Oh,
wow.
we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
We
you
should
wanna
probably
do-
plug our show at some point.
Well, we go to 60. So we'll do we get 10. We'll do let's
Calm
do
down.
something fun. Do you want to do the voicemails? Can we do the voicemails?
You guys want to hear some of these? They're kind of
I would
Yes.
love.
Let's hear some voicemails.
We forgot to. I don't know if you guys would have wanted to do this. We forgot to tell you to like put the number on your story. Someone our old guest said that, and
Well,
like
it's not
your
too
fans.
late. We can do that, right?
It'll.
Or
Yeah,
wait,
maybe.
Oh, to
Yeah.
call us. and-
Yeah, to call like the
Gotcha.
show, and then like we would listen to the
It's okay.
voicemail. But
What are we gonna
Well,
do?
you know,
We forget to post it.
yeah.
Okay, here's one of them that we. Oh,
Hey, this is Steve-O. I just wanted to call in, since you left the number in the description. I just wanted to call in and say that the Tipped and Stiffed podcast is my favorite podcast, man. You guys are putting out great content. So, yeah, I just wanted to call in and say thank you, guys. Alrighty. Steve-O out.
It's high praise.
Sweet.
It was very sweet, but the problem
Yeah.
is that I clicked on his. He was from TikTok, and he like commented on one of our posts, and he's like, "I'm Steve-O," and then I clicked on his account, and it's just like
It wasn't Steve-O, was it?
It was something spooky. It was. Dude, what's the?
I get chills from that guy.
He does.
It's I don't
He
even
went
know.
out of his way
Yeah.
to leave the voicemail.
But also,
That's what you want, though,
That
right?
is what you want.
No, we do. But it was like he's well, yes.
We'll
hold
hold for
get
this
him.
next one.
Okay.
this. Oh, you want his second one?
yes. What's this?
Oh, no, there's two?
Yes, hello. My name is Tim, and I just wanted to say, I love the Tipped and Stiff podcast, Charlie. I love the Tipped and Stiff podcast.
Dude, like, first of all, he's doing a really good impression of this character Pip from Smiling Friends, but he went twice. He went for it twice.
Oh,
It's the same
Great-
guy.
The same guy. Great impression.
Oh yeah.
very positive.
Very positive.
It was good.
Usually people call and say some horrendous. They say something really.
Like what?
We've
Wow.
had some bad
Slurs.
ones on here, yeah.
Oh,
They've said some slurs.
Slurs.
Some real bombs.
Yeah, like we can't play them on the podcast.
damn.
slurs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, here I'm gonna play this next one.
Speaking of
this is one of
slurs,
the
let me
new
play
ones. It's not. No, but
Hey, I really like your podcast. I'm in California, and we have a lot of black people out here. I don't really see a lot of black people on your show. I don't know if that's because you guys are located in the Midwest,
Yeah.
but
Probably.
I was on to you guys about Playboy Cardi. I like what you said about him being all-American, a good American, keep the culture, keep up the good work. We black people, we support you.
Damn. What?
that's cool.
That was awesome.
We do want. I would like more diversity in the podcast,
Yeah.
but she made a very good observation. It is white out here in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is it's
But it's
Kenosha
also-
being a more like this. We're more diversified, but it's like artists. It's like, of course, your percentages get like we're looking for artists to be on the show, so your percentages get even like the
Sure.
amount of people to have on, and then it's like it's people we want to talk to as well. Like we want to have people we're going to have like are interesting characters. There's a few people in mind that we have that we're going to have on to because we want more voices. We want more perspectives on the world on here. We
My
want,
grandfather was my great grandfather was literally born in Norway, and there's nothing I can do about that. So sorry.
But you're interesting, and we want to talk
It's
to
okay.
you.
Even though you're white, you make some good music.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are grateful to be here. It does mean a lot.
We're really happy.
Thank
Yeah.
you, y'all. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for
I'm
coming.
really-
Because you know what? I remember at that when I was at the show.
You
I
literally
was-
turned to me and you were like, yeah. You were like, yeah. Because that was the first time we saw them. You were like,
Excellent.
they're on.
That was a great night.
Mhm.
And
So good night.
Kim mentioned it. Yeah, we should talk about the next show.
Yes, please
April
do.
1st, Kenosha Fusion, the venerable Kenosha Fusion.
Oh, yeah.
With West Now Crows. Wonderful
Okay.
Really?
Milwaukee band. Yeah. Are you guys familiar?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
I'm not.
We
I'll show you.
met. Yeah.
No, you won't.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
I
show
hope he
you.
does.
We'll text you later.
Yeah. We met them kind of by chance because we played a show at Company Brewing in Milwaukee with Loud Library.
Mm-hmm.
And their drummer Garrett is in multiple bands, one of which is West Nile Crows.
And there's another band that was supposed to play that night, but they canceled last minute. So
right, so they had to
Garrett's-
fill the slot.
Yeah.
So they reached out to West Nile Crows, and they played, and that was our first time hearing of them. It wasn't planned, and we really got along, and I really loved their music, and you know, it was a good relationship, and I wanted to play more shows with them. I thought that'd be great.
Yeah, Hans's setup is really cool. Like the sounds he get with his guitar, like he does this
The
like
JC 120
thing.
on its side on a 412 cab,
yeah.
and you know, he has some
Is
really
he a
cool.
12-string? It's a 12-string electric, I think.
And then he has the Rickenbacker, which
He
is
has-
6.
He
He's
has
got some
the-
nice
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and it sounds cool.
And he does really cool, clever things with it. So they'll be playing too. So it should be a great night.
That'll be fun. Where
Yeah,
where is it playing?
Kenosha
Fusion.
Fusion, April 1st.
Oh yeah, I saw that. We'll have to share
9,
that. Yeah, we'll
9 p.m.
What day is that?
It's a Friday.
Friday night, April 1st, April Fool's Day.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, no
Okay.
fooling.
No fooling.
We'll,
Okay.
No
we'll
joke.
be there.
No
Hey,
fooling.
is it on your guys' page? Or are you gonna
Yes.
be posting? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
We'll
there's a
share
poster
it.
for it.
Yeah,
Cool.
We'll get
we hung
people out
those
there.
around town.
Maybe hang more.
Yeah, we do.
We'll
They're
get
probably
some.
all gone by now.
We'll get some people out
We'll
there.
post it.
Pack it
Yeah,
up.
Cool.
We'll
that'd be
pack the
great.
place
And we
up.
really hope to see you there. That'd
We'll
be
get
fantastic.
kicked out. I mean, we'll get kicked out, but we'll be there.
Yeah.
You'll get the money. That's what?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about this. What is your setup, real quick? What is?
For live music?
Yes.
I play a Fender Strat. It's a deluxe series, Mexican made. So it has the vintage noiseless
Okay. Yeah.
single coils, which I really like. And then I play through a Roland JC 120.
Interesting.
I love that amp. I got that really early on. A great deal at Schitt's Creek Music. Schmidt.
We've been rewatching Schitt's
Schmidt
Creek recently.
music.
Yeah.
Jeepers,
Schitt's
creepers.
Crazy.
That's hilarious. I want to make a music store called that. Schitt's Creek Music.
Yeah.
Shit's music.
Schitt's music. Schmidt music. Man. Can't believe I said that.
They're gonna sue
Anyway.
you and us.
Well, they can't
Liable.
because they don't exist anymore.
Damn.
Which just breaks my heart. I grew up going there. I took lessons there.
Pour one out.
And while we were taking lessons, we were I was a young kid and, saving my pennies. And they had a JC 120 there for a really reasonable price. Used. 80s era, not the new one. And I was just about to do jazz band in high school, so I went for it. And I've had it ever since, took good care of it. And I didn't realize how fantastic of an amplifier that is until much later. Because I was in metal bands. And I played, I did the 412 thing. And I played
Right.
with a 6505 Plus. And,
Oh, yeah.
a combo amp was not on my radar.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I don't know, I grew into it. And I started to notice, like, watching concert footage from bands throughout, from the 70s onwards, I'd keep seeing this amp.
That amp.
Everywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And you'll still see it today.
Yeah.
And it's
really
for good reason.
I mean, it's a solid state amp, but people
yes.
tend to like they
Poo-poo
want to
it.
poo-poo solid state
or solid
amps, but
state.
I think it's an incredible.
It has that reputation for a reason.
And it doesn't. I mean, whatever.
If it sounds good, it sounds good.
Yeah.
So when I was at like the peak of my guitar playing, I'll play I do everything like direct in through like modeling amps and stuff
Sure.
like that now. And I have an amp. I have a Fender DeVille.
Cool.
I really
Yeah.
like those.
Oh, that's what Jaina.
Yeah.
I have the longest time I had a Fender Deluxe. I don't like those.
Okay. Why is that?
They're crummy the crunchier they get.
They suck. I'm just kidding.
I like the way that the DeVille is broken up the speaker. I like
Sure.
them more. The one my 12 is not enough for a
The Deluxe is a 112?
is a 112.
Yeah.
212s is necessary. But
I like that too.
My most atrocious setup that we had
when we
in
had
the
full-
band.
The band. We were looking for a drummer, and we were still doing this setup.
Yes. And I
Give the bass setup too after you do yours.
So I had I didn't have the best guitar at the time I was using. No, I had it's called a Univox. It's a Japanese guitar company. It was a 3 humbucking Strat. It was from 1970 something.
Cool.
I got it from a crazy, stupid, good price, and it sounded beautiful. And I don't have it anymore. I miss that guitar, but I have good reasons I don't have that guitar anymore. But I had the EVH 5150, the Fender, the white one they had. I had a 50 watt of that.
Cool.
Going to a 1960 B&A cab. Okay. So I had a full stack. I had 812s.
Like you pieced it.
It was so ridiculous. It was so loud.
Oh,
it was taller than me. It was taller than me in the room. And we were playing like sludge doom, like we were stoner rock stuff, and it would just be like boom, 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 and it would shake the house, and it was great because my bass player had an SVT Ampeg SVT. It's the hybrids for the half tube, half not tube, but it was a stupid high wattage.
Sure.
In an 8x10,
just pounded.
Like
she
had the fridge.
The fridge.
Oh my god! Like we would stack those together, and it would just
blast.
The whole house.
Yeah.
You could hear it on the second story.
You could hear it in the driveway some days. I swear to Christ. It was those two, and then it was me on like a Behringer MS1. Like they did a remodel of that piece of that instrument, and just like doing like the Egyptian scale, the gypsy
Phrygian.
scale. Yeah, just some Phrygian scale, and then our friend on sax just like squeaking, and we just made some
sounds wild. Did you ever record it?
I have some on my phone still.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
It was no drummer. No drummer.
The sessions are an hour and 15 minutes long, so
cool.
Feel free to listen. Yeah, no drummer. It's just like.
But I sold all of it because I was just like, I don't do that anymore. And also, I can't justify. I was really practicing guitar for a while, and I didn't get that good at it. Or at one point I was good, and I just dropped it. I was just like, I'm done. Yeah. And then you lose when you stop.
Yeah.
You lose a lot really quickly. But I was because I remember I wanted to ask because when I remember the show, I was like, everything sounds nice here.
Oh, thank you.
Everything sounds very good.
We record ourselves, and we record kind of like live. We get together in a room, and we're all mic'd up and set up a certain way, and we do these fundamental bass tracks together, and we play them, and we work really hard to get it right. But it's not to a click, and it's not individually pieced together. We do overdubs later, which is a huge part of it. I love doing that. But I think that connects with why live we might have a good balance and a good sound, because we do that quite a lot, trying to blend it and get it right. Important. And so that's good to hear. Thank you. And it's a whole nother thing hearing it from the audience perspective. Like I wish I could be on stage and play and then also hear what we sound like out there.
You can't do that.
I can't. Not yet. Maybe I'll find a way.
Kim, how long have you played piano, by the way?
I took lessons when I was really little, like maybe like 7 for a few months. And then I had this moment where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, Mom. And she was like, okay. So I stopped. And then I had an electric keyboard in my basement that I would practice on, and I'd play on all the time. So I learned mostly by ear. And I had a couple of like, technique things that I learned in lessons that, I would remember from that. Yeah, right. And but I learned how to read music at that point, and then I kind of fell back in love with it in college. I didn't really play piano very much. I had a little Casio keyboard, but not until I started taking lessons again in college, which for college courses, and I became more comfortable with like reading double staff and kind of taking away with that. So now I like to read classical piano music for fun, as like a little brain exercise. Like I want to relax, I want to read a book, I want to watch a movie, I want to play some piano, like to exercise that brain. But really my primary instrument, what I've studied in college, was flute. I'm a flute player.
Nice.
So that
cool.
Nice. That's kind of where my main education lies. But like piano and guitar have been mostly like by ear and replication and just by loving to
play 'em.
fucking jam.
Yeah.
I've played since I was like 6.
Awesome.
I just took lessons till I was like a junior. Was in all
wow.
the solo and ensemble stuff, and
Terrific.
I was like really sick and tired. I was so bad at practicing for lessons. I would get so nervous because I don't know. I was just lazy and got nervous then because I didn't practice.
Being a teenager.
Being a teenager,
Yeah,
you know, as soon as whatever. But when I quit doing that, I started writing and didn't go to college to write music. And I remember because when you said flute, it reminded me of like how you said you were in jazz band. My jazz teacher or my band teacher, who was the jazz director, always had this like obsession with including flute in jazz music.
It's funny.
They do. They go well together.
Yeah.
I played in jazz band. I actually, my degree is in music, but I had a concentration in jazz studies. As a flute player, it's kind of weird because I didn't there's not like a flute part on a lot of charts. So I would double on the tenor saxophone part and I would transpose up a step from whatever or down a step from the tenor music. And that was a really good experience for me. I feel like I learned a lot in stretching that that muscle with jazz music and playing flute.
The improvisation courses you took and that went under that field of study.
Oh, definitely.
That carried over into every instrument you play.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fantastic. That's a lot of paper cuts. The way you approach the keys on those solo sections, you can hear that it's studied and it's not calculated. It is improvised, but there's just a dialogue that you have.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. I love hearing it.
I've always played keys and I've always really loved it. And I would just wait till the next moment where I was in a room that had like an acoustic piano, an upright or grand or whatever. Cause I just had this little Casio thing and I played it and I liked it. But I really loved the feeling of just like playing some big ass chunky chords on a grand piano or, upright or whatever, an acoustic piano. Sure. And each time I remember being in high school and I'd be in a room that had something like that. And I would just
gravitate.
Yeah,
right
just constantly looking at it. There's been times where I would skip lunch to go to the choir room and play the piano in there because I didn't have that at home, and it was just a huge release for me.
Yeah.
I know as we're nearing the end, I had to bring that up because I was listening to I think it's Highlights off of Paper Cuts.
Yeah,
Is that the one where there's moments where it's just like an electric piano sounding bell tone that's it will kind of roll up and then it'll roll down, and then it'll just kind of cascade around. I think that was the song I was listening to, but it was one of them.
That would fit, right? Yeah. Highlight.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't matter the name, but I just remembered that when I pictured how I see you guys group and what I liked about it initially is that seeing that instrument and having that be part of it, and have it just it worked with the style and the whole visual aspect of it. That's why I really started to like you guys.
Yeah,
stuck out a lot.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Her playing is fantastic and a huge part of our sound.
Oh yeah.
Where can we find y'all?
Yeah.
Anywhere live music or anywhere music is streamed.
Anywhere music is streamed.
Spotify. Bandcamp we prefer, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll link everything.
Yeah, we'd be very grateful.
Website, I got a website.
We have a website. This is sunsilo.com, where again all of those things are linked. But whatever you're most comfortable with, if you're an avid Spotify user, we are there, and we would be so grateful for a follow and a like or throwing us on a playlist.
What socials are you most active on?
Instagram.
Yeah. Instagram's the heat. Yeah. That's for the heat.
What about Kim's other band too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Violet Wilder, right?
That's correct.
Ah, we forgot. Listen.
I know.
I forgot this is back to my head.
Yeah.
We had good talks. It's your fault.
We talked about World War II a lot.
There's been a lot of war talk today. When I think Violet Wilder, I think war. So
yeah.
It's not just me.
No.
So Sunsile and Violet Wilder.
Yep.
Thank you both for coming, Kim, Andy.
Thank you so much for having us.
It was great having you here. Thank you all for watching the Tipped and Stiff experience.
Yeah.
Find us everywhere and find us taken down as well soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenosha.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Thank you,
beauty.
Kenosha, and that's a beauty.
Okay.
I forget. We forgot like the past 3 episodes. Okay, we can wrap it up now. Stop it.
All right.
Goodbye.
Go.